Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. This afternoon, we'll be speaking with someone special, a 24-year-old budding chef, Abbinash, proud owner of Crumble and Dough, an online business platform on Instagram, to share with us some of his thoughts on why cooking at home is better. Hi, Abbinash. Thank you for joining us
Hi,
today.
Rishmani. Thank you so much for having me. Before we begin, I would like to thank One 2018 for actually giving an opportunity for a budding chef like me to express my opinion and my
Mhm.
voice to the community. So thank you so much.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. No
Thank you.
worries.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great too. So let's begin.
Perfect. Yes. So today's talk is going to be super short because Abhinash here is going to share with us an amazing recipe. So continue watching to find out the recipe and the easiest way to execute it. But before that, let me clear some doubts on why cooking at home is better. So, Abhinash, could you share with us your thoughts on why cooking at home always beats takeout foods?
I think ultimately, we all know that cooking at home actually is very cost efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It saves up a lot comparatively if you go and dine outside.
Yep.
And secondary, I think it focuses more on your health and dietary preference. You
Okay.
have the freedom to choose what you eat and what you would like to have on your plate.
Yep.
And comparatively, when you dine in a fast food restaurant or anything, the end product will be there, but you wouldn't have any knowledge on the product, what is in it, what it is made out of,
Yep.
and stuffs like that. All
Definitely.
right. So by dietary preference, I think when you cook at home, you can focus on what is good for you as well. For an
Mm-hmm.
example, lactose intolerant, you can obviously remove away dairy products, add more dairy-free products to your dietary
Yes.
or your meal and stuff like that. And the third thing I would say, it definitely improvises your mental health
Okay.
because I believe that the family that cooks together is a happy family that stays together, if that
Yep.
makes sense. So
Definitely.
personally, I think uh, growing up, I had a lot of memorable and cherishable memories with my mother cooking in the kitchen, and maybe that is what led to me taking up this as a career. I don't know. So that
That's
is why
nice.
cooking at home is um, better than takeout food. But there are pros and cons. Obviously, every now and then you
Mm-hmm.
can dine in outside because there are a lot of professional chefs. They know what they cook. They are expert in handling such foods or such
Yep.
meats, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah. So every now and then you can go out and eat. It doesn't matter. But yeah.
Definitely. I mean, to have that urge and cravings for some fast food, it's absolutely normal. But it will also be great if you can work out something on your own to settle those cravings.
True, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
now
right.
that we've
Mhm.
ruled out why cooking at home is best, in your opinion, could you let us know what are some of the most basic skills that everybody should know, including beginners, but apart from being able to boil water or fry an egg lah?
Uh-huh. So I think one thing that I would advise every person I know is that you should always not be afraid of getting cuts and burns. So
Yep.
that is ultimately a beginner for you to handle food in a kitchen or to cook food in a kitchen. All right. So the secondary, I would say, try to get more one pot recipe
Mm-hmm.
because I personally, after a long day in my kitchens, doing up my orders and everything, I don't want to do my dishes. I just want to do like one pot recipe, get it done, and have a quick, delicious meal. And then
Yep.
you actually save up time because you just do need to do one dish. You just need to wash out one dish, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So fine for one pot dish. And I think the third thing, eventually we Malaysians are becoming very used to it, is
Mm-hmm.
getting our meals prepped.
Yeah.
Most of us like working on weekdays, so
Mm-hmm.
we don't have much time to actually prepare food, and that is what the most troublesome thing that we
True.
find
Yes.
prepare a meal, and that is what leads us to go and get food outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So prepping your meal actually allows you to have your whole week sorted out actually, and all you need to do is just take it out of your fridge, reheat, and you're good to go.
Yep.
So yeah, that is few basic things I think that you need to count into your mind when it comes to like basic and mature people in the
Definitely.
kitchen.
I mean, like when you're talking about the one pot recipe, right? We at 12080 really rely on one pot recipe. In our
Mm-hmm.
magazine, we have plenty of one pot recipes because we think that
Ah,
it's great for all working adults, even
yes.
university students, or
Mm-hmm. True.
second high school students when their parents are not
Mm-hmm.
around or they're
Mm-hmm.
capable enough to cook for themselves. So we think that it's a perfect way to start your cooking journey. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be, the basic skills are what you
Yeah,
need the
true.
most,
And
right?
you can never go wrong with one pot recipe.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, now many people think, right, that cooking at home is troublesome, but that's not
Mhm.
true, right? What
Yeah.
why do you think people have that mindset that it will be tough to cook at home?
I think one is that it can be a little it can be a little frustrating if that makes sense, because after a long day of work, because most of us are working adults who will be handling in the kitchen,
Yep,
right? So like after a long day of work, you actually have to take the trouble to be like to come to your kitchen, cut everything, and then start cooking process, and it can be a little too much to handle, a little frustrating, and ultimately it can go wrong, like
mm-hmm.
you can burn your food or it is under seasoned and stuff like
Yep,
that. So uh, that may be a little troublesome for them, and I think this is what I think I will always get mad at, because end of every cooking session you have a lot of dishes to do. So and
yes,
your kitchen will be very messy, so you have to take your time to like clean up your kitchen, do your dishes before you could actually enjoy your meal.
yep,
So for a working adult, it will be too much, because they actually face like another 8 hours prior to their kitchen hours
yep,
at work, and then they have to get back home and they have to go through all the process all over again. So
mm-hmm.
that would be a little troublesome for them. That is what I think.
Especially when they had a very stressful and hectic day at
Oh
work.
yeah, true. Mhm.
Yeah, and then to come back home and to cook for themselves, they just feel so frustrated, lah, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
true. And to add on with your point, I think especially in a family setup and stuff like that, they have
Yes.
already gone through a lot of things. And when they cook stuffs like this, I mean, they actually took their trouble and then cook food, prepare dinner
Mm-hmm.
or lunch to your family. And when the family members did not like get impressed or pleased by their cooking,
Yes.
it gets really frustrating, and it actually affects the mental health. So people who are watching, if someone cooking for you, please appreciate them, because it takes a lot of effort.
Yes. So
Uh,
even though it's under season, you think it doesn't have enough salt, just run to the kitchen and grab some salt and then just,
exactly.
you know,
Yeah,
season it
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. The effort, that is the effort and the love is what that counts actually
Yep.
when you're preparing a meal. So yeah.
I definitely agree with that because especially working moms, they have
True.
to come back home and prepare meal for their children and all. Sometimes, children, they can be a little needy. That's what children
Mhm.
do. But
Yeah.
as a working adult, we try our very best to provide what we can for our family, especially when it comes to meals. So it would
Mhm.
always be great if all the family members could pitch in, help the mom or
Yeah.
the dad
True.
to cook
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, a public service announcement, let's say that, like, let's not put like only women needs to cook, and
Yes,
Let's take
Yes.
turns. Like guys can
Yep.
cook too. You cook
Yes.
on Monday, I cook on Tuesday, and stuff like that.
That's actually
So yeah.
perfect. I
Hmm.
really believe in that because at home, my mom and my dad cooks.
Oh,
So,
see, that's great.
so if my mom and my dad doesn't cook, I cook.
So
So
see, and like I said previously, it actually helps you to bond
yes,
with your family even more
definitely.
better.
We
Yeah.
always have this cooking day where all of us will be busy in the kitchen helping each other, especially when they're relatives or friends or families over.
See,
Yeah.
that's great.
Okay. So,
All right.
lastly, could you share with us some of the benefits of cooking? Like previously, you did
Benef-
mention about mental health, right? So,
mhm.
what do you mean by mental health? As in, like, personally?
Uh, yeah, personally, and even when you radiate, you can actually radiate it to others as well. So for
Yep.
personally, I feel like when I cook a meal for a
Mm-hmm.
family or a friends or a get together or anything, when someone appreciates my food, I feel very complete. Oh wow, okay, I actually tried something and it actually worked out and it actually made people happy,
Yep.
right? So that actually helps me to cope up with my mental health. I feel very positive about it.
Mm-hmm.
And like for an example, I've been doing like the whole private dining and
Yep.
canapes and cocktail parties and everything for over a year now. So when I serve it to my customers and they say like, oh my God, it is so delicious and everything, it actually helps me out to like, oh wow, okay, I make someone happy. I made someone's day a little better. So
Yes.
when a mom is cooking like for a family or a dad is cooking for a family and you're telling it, oh my God, it's really delicious, it really helps them to feel like, oh my God, I did something really great. So
Yeah.
that is what mental health is about. And I think another benefit of cooking is that it is a form of you to express your creativity as
True.
well. So
Yep.
eventually on the longer run, like you said, 12080 actually posts a lot of one pot recipes, right?
Yes.
So when the viewers actually following up the recipes, they can eventually get creative and add more things to it. And
Yeah.
it's all about trial and errors,
Mm-hmm.
and that is something that actually makes them to express their creativity and explore a lot of things. And another thing that I think benefit the most important benefit cooking at home would be um, you get to pick or buy the freshest ingredient. So,
Yep.
growing grocery shopping, planning up your meal, getting like freshest ingredient compared to you dining in a restaurant, you don't know what is on the plate, you just know the end product. You can actually know the product knowledge, the process, and
Yes.
it is very fun and very healthy thing to do actually.
True.
So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much I think.
Honestly, I love grocery shopping. I
Uh-huh.
love to do grocery shopping by myself because I love cooking. So I feel like that's one of the best part of cooking, to be
Yeah,
able to go
true.
and choose the ingredients you want, stand there and decide which is better. So another thing I think that food, when we people think about food, right, they always think that food is happiness. So being able to
True.
serve people with food, it doesn't only enlighten their mood, but it also make
Mhm.
your day better.
Yeah, true. And I think to add up on it,
Mm-hmm.
it will be that um, every one of us would have our own preference of flavor, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. Okay,
yeah,
let's say nasi lemak, like our Malaysian favorite nasi lemak.
yeah.
Like I might have my own preference how my sambal would would like to
Yes,
be, and you might have your own preference how you want your sambal want to taste,
yep,
right? So when you are cooking it by yourself, you can actually put yourself as the priority and you can actually flavor your food according to your preference. And
yes,
that is something amazing that you get to do when you're cooking at home.
yep.
So yeah.
So
Mhm.
basically, it's just about developing flavors that you and your family prefers.
True,
Yeah,
true.
sometimes it's very difficult to get food that settles your cravings, but you just
Mm.
get it because you like it's closer to what you want.
Yeah, true,
Yeah,
true.
that's
Yeah.
great. So I guess that's all for now.
Thank you
Okay,
so much for having me. It is a great pleasure to be talking to you and
thank
everyone
you.
who's viewing here.
Thank you. Thank you, Abinash, for sharing with us some great tips on why cooking at home is way better than buying takeouts. I know for sure that all our viewers will appreciate you for sharing your thoughts. But
Mhm.
viewers, everyone who's watching, continue watching as Abinash will be showing you a quick and easy recipe that would be great as a snack or a main dish. Also, thank you, Abinash, for taking some time away from your busy schedule. I know you have plenty of orders to do. So
It's okay.
we
It's always a pleasure to be talking to you. And,
thank
thank you
you,
so much
thank
for having
you.
me.
We hope to have more interviews with you in the upcoming future.
All right. All
Thank
right. Okay,
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Hi, so today we are making the most iconic Chinese takeout dish, which is obviously orange chicken. So now let's see what we need. So we're going to divide this dish to three different components: the sauce, the chicken, and the third one is just stir frying both of them together. So now let's begin with the sauce. For the sauce here, I have my pot medium-high heat, and then in goes about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then followed by 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, and with that about 2 teaspoons of vinegar, just to bring out the tanginess from the orange, and then about 1 cup of orange juice. And now you're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of sugar, and finally just a dash of paprika for the heat. So you're just gonna bring this to a boil and just allow it to turn into like a glaze-like consistency, and that's where you stop. So now for the chicken, I have some boneless chicken pieces here. I just cut them into like bite-sized chunks, and then I'm just gonna dip into this tempura batter and then fry them. But the tempura batter is basically 1 part of all-purpose flour and 2 part of rice flour, and season it, just thin it down with water until it gets to like this pancake consistency. So I'm just going to deep fry them. Make sure tap off the excess batter and then fry them. So now I have my chicken ready, and then my sauce is this perfect glaze-like consistency, and I'm just going to stir fry them all in together. So I have about 2 teaspoons of cooking oil. With that, about 3 minced garlic and minced ginger goes in. Just saute them a bit until it releases all the aromas. And then you're gonna sweat some onion. Just cut them into big chunks. And you don't want to cook this much because you want it to remain crunchy as you eat with the chicken. So just a saute for a couple of minutes would do. So now it has been sauteing for a bit, and then I'm going to throw in all that chicken. Then followed by the orange sauce that we made. We're not going to throw in all of them, just enough to coat the chicken, because too much of sauce will actually make the chicken soggy and we don't want that. So I've transferred the dish into my serving bowl here, and I'm just going to top it off with some white sesame seed. And here you go guys, orange chicken. Enjoy.